Hi there. I'm Cerise DeLand. I'm here today to tell you about my newest romantic comedy. It's live today on Amazon and on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. And it's a romantic comedy that occurs a few days before a famous royal wedding. Who was getting married? Well, she was Princess Charlotte, and she was the Princess of Wales and the heir to, or I should say, the heiress to the British throne. She was a young lady, 19 years of age, and she was the only daughter of the Prince Regent, that famous, scandalous fellow who was to be king beginning in 1820 upon the death of his father for only 10 years. But he did have one daughter. Her name was Princess Charlotte. And uh, she was of eligible age in 1816. And she had met very briefly the gentleman who was to become the king of the Belgians later on, Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg. And yes, you know him as the famous uncle of Prince Albert, who was to marry Princess Victoria and to become uh, her royal consort. But Princess Charlotte, long before Victoria was born, was to be the heiress to the British crown. And she was briefly engaged to another gentleman, the Prince of Orange, who was very much involved in the defeat of Napoleon. But she met Leopold of Saxe-Coburg and decided that he was a much more interesting fellow. And I dare say, if you look at his uh, portraits, he was much more handsome too. And so in, I believe, February of 1816, they became engaged, and their wedding was on May 2nd, 1816. And it was said to be a love match. And they retired to the country for their wedding trip. And a few months later, she was known to be pregnant, and sadly, she lost the baby. But a few months later, she was pregnant again. And then in the ensuing months, she hired an accoucheur, or a male midwife. The gentleman who attended her when she went into labor in November of 1817 was a famous male midwife, um, and, or I should say, attendant, birth attendant. And he had counseled her during the last months of her pregnancy to watch what she ate and to get some exercise. It seemed that she gained a lot of weight when she was pregnant. And the result was that when she did go into labor, she had a very, very difficult time delivering this baby. He was delivered at more than 8 pounds, and she had been in labor for more than 24 hours. And she did have what we call today preeclampsia and what they called toxemia. And it is extreme inflammation of the joints. And it causes high blood pressure, which is an extremely dangerous thing to have for a young woman during delivery. So she delivered her baby. They did use forceps. He was not in the correct position to be delivered face down. They had to turn him around in the womb. Very painful procedure, and the result was that uh, the baby died. Or perhaps he was stillborn. I can't remember right now. And a day later, she too passed away. This was a severe blow to the people of Great Britain because she was well loved. She did not have the same public persona as her father. She was considered to be more egalitarian than he. She favored helping the poor and educating them. He was known as a bit of a rake, a roue, a spendthrift. He too engaged too much in drink and gambling, and he had many mistresses, so he was not particularly well loved by the English people. Sad, sad death of Princess Charlotte. The result was that there were no legitimate heirs to the English throne. And for all the brothers and sisters of the Prince Regent, many of them scrambled to marry and to have children. One of them was a younger brother of the Prince Regent, the Duke of Kent, who married the sister of Prince Leopold. And she soon had a child, a little girl. And she was to be Princess Victoria. An interesting story. I hope you will read the first in my new series, Lady Fiona's Tall Dark Folly. It's a romantic comedy that begins a few days before the wedding on May 2nd, 1816, of Princess Charlotte and Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg. And it was great fun to write, and I hope you'll give it a go. Thanks for listening. I hope to see you here again soon, and I hope you've seen all the videos. I am going to put up a slideshow that will elaborate more on Princess Charlotte's wedding, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.